Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday meditation. I'm Sharon, and I'll just warn you all that I am very uh, open this morning. My heart is very open. We had a Nundro practice before this, and I find myself feeling very heart opened, which is really why we come to do this, right? Um, actually, Harvey said in a class recently, or maybe one of the videos that we're watching for Nundro, the Nindro is foundational practices that some of us are doing as a community. It's a set of practices that at any time, should you be interested in that, we can talk to you about it. But it's foundational practices in Tibetan Buddhism. And so we gathered this morning and did that for 45 minutes before this meditation practice. But as I was saying, Harvey recently mentioned, and it kind of doesn't matter what the context was, but that the heart is really the vehicle for enlightenment. Did you catch that? It was like, wow, that is so cool because it's true. You know, particularly if you think of the heart as the heart mind, a combination of your mind and your heart, where your wisdom that informs your intelligence and the wisdom that informs your emotions and your ability to move through life in a natural state, those are actually one and the same. So I think when you think of it like that, then his saying that the heart is the vehicle to enlightenment, is very, very clear. So what we're going to try and do this morning is work with our attention. So good to see you. And wonderful to see everyone and everyone at a distance. So what we're going to do this morning is just come together as we have and work with cultivating our attention, our mindfulness, our awareness, so that we can reach a state that's more natural, that's more peaceful, that's more comfortable, that feels like home. Sogyal Rinpoche, one of the great Tibetan lamas, talks about meditation as coming home. We can allow ourselves to become scattered, not just our thoughts, actually kind of parts of us, in our various activities and the way we need to be in all these different roles that we assume. And so it's good to take those pieces that we sort of leave scattered about and let them coalesce and come home. And again, that heart mind is the home. So we're going to allow ourselves to come home today and just open and be our natural selves. So, we're going to begin with, just a sitting meditation. So we want to assume a posture that's comfortable, but that has some intention, some strength to it. So it's that balance of setting it up, but then relaxing. So you want your legs to be relaxed down. If you're on a chair, you want your feet flat on the floor. You don't want to be leaning back on your chair because you want your spine to be relatively straight, naturally straight. You want your waist to be lifted up out of your hips. You want your head to sort of stretch towards the ceiling to create this powerful base. So you want to elongate and straighten and strengthen. And you want to roll your shoulders back and then allow them to relax down. Open your chest. Again, then you may need to let your legs relax down again because this setting up the torso and the shoulders and opening the chest can sometimes then create some tension in the legs. So let those relax down. Let your gaze be softly down the bridge of your nose, gazing softly. So not looking, but just kind of softly gazing down the bridge of your nose to a point on the floor, a couple of feet in front of you. Or if you're new to meditation and that's too distracting, and instead you feel to close your eyes, that's perfectly fine. Because really it's about finding a state of ease. And we start by doing that physically to support what we're going to do with our thoughts, our mind, and our emotions. And now we just begin to relax and breathe. And as we get in touch with our breath, we allow our thoughts to settle out. We don't try to stop them. We allow them to naturally arise. But in this moment, in this time together this morning, we're not going to do our usual of following after our thoughts, making our thoughts into story, getting lost in thought. Instead, we're going to notice them like an old friend, but we're going to let them dissolve. Like waves in an ocean, the waves arise, and if we allow it to just be natural, they will dissolve right back into the ocean of our heart mind. Thoughts are not the enemy. Getting lost in thought is what we want to work with. Because we want to be present. We want to be here. We want to come home. We want to have a state of ease. Allow your hands to relax. Allow your feet, your knees, your legs to relax. Allow your energy to relax. Allow your mind to relax. Everything's relaxed. And now we rest our attention on the breath. We feel our bodies breathing. We experience our bodies breathing. Quite natural, nurturing, it's enlivening, and it's in real time. So if we're experiencing the breath, we are here now. We're home. We'll sit like this for a few minutes, experiencing the body breathing. Noticing the inhale, noticing how it feels to travel through our body, and then noticing the exhale. And maybe letting the exhale have a little bit more attention. Maybe be a little bit longer than the inhale. But really, you want to breathe naturally. It's just the exhale really has a relaxing quality to it. Just breathe. Do this for 5 to 10 minutes. When you become distracted, you notice without judgment. You just return to the breath again and again, gently and with love toward yourself. Now we're going to work with sound and energy and light to work with our attention. We're going to sound together the syllable home at our own pace. Hong is the syllable of enlightened mind. It also has a quality of gathering, of coalescing. So again, this idea of coming home, our true essence, Hong allows for that. It allows for us to resonate with our own inner wisdom and provides an opportunity to come into attention via sound and energy. And as I say, you can do it at your own pace. In general, we do 2 hongs per breath. But whatever comes for you is what is right for you. If you're new and you're not comfortable sounding with us, that's fine. You can just sit in the energy of it and join in whenever you are comfortable. I do invite you to try it. It's very powerful, particularly in a group like this. And once again, we rest our attention on the breath, experiencing breathing with our entire body, allowing the breath to flow through. This isn't a time for effort. It's a time for ease. Not a time to judge or critique yourself. It's a time to love yourself, patient and open and breathe. Let go of any tension. Refresh your posture if you need to. Find that balance between intention and relaxation. Not too tight, not too loose. That goes for the body and also the mind. And also our energy. Let everything flow naturally. Our attention on the breath. A few more minutes. So, to whatever extent you might feel expanded or spacious, that is the state of presence, of openness. Um, whenever we're able to really come home, to really uh, allow our thoughts to settle out and just attend to ourselves in a loving, immediate kind of way, our heart mind actually has the capacity to expand and be spacious, infinitely spacious. And what that can do for us is not only make us feel pretty good. I hope everybody else is feeling a little bit of this at least. Um, but it also gives us the capacity to go through our life with more um, patience, tolerance, love, compassion. You know, I'm sure everyone is just uh, um, struggling with the state of the world, not just our political scene, but what's going on in Syria and everywhere, and then what's going on in our personal lives. Um, so all of these things that are happening, if we cultivate the capacity to be bigger than our normal, ordinary, collapsed sort of state where we get caught up in this or we get caught up in that, or we do leave ourselves scattered all over the place because we have so many pressures and so many roles and obligations and responsibility. But our nature, what we are truly at our core, our heart mind is infinite. And that can really be helpful when we're addressing and contending and trying to make sense of all these things happening. Um, because, you know, so if you see the pictures of what's happening in Aleppo, for example, and it just can almost like be unbearable. But if you allow your heart to open, you can have that same love and compassion and go out to what's going on there. You can also have the capacity to respond in whatever ways make sense for you. But it also allows you to still be able to do the things you need to do, to be present to people, like parents, who have to deal with their children no matter what their emotional state. You know, this is a gift in that arena. Um, but it's a gift to all of us. My sister called me last night, my youngest sister, just distraught. And I was really intent that I was going to get a good, peaceful night's sleep so that I could be, my best self today. And she called me very distraught. Literally, I had just laid down in bed. And if it had been anybody but her, I would have, my do not disturb had not kicked on yet. She knows, 10 o'clock. And it was right before 10. And a friend of hers had committed suicide on Tuesday night. He's in his 30s. And she just didn't know what to make of it. She's like, I know you're leading meditation tomorrow and you don't like to, be disturbed. And she's like, but I needed to talk to you. And so, I was able to listen to her, which I'm also getting better at. This kind of practice, really gives us some capacity to listen without always jumping in to speak, which I want to do. I think many of us are naturally. Because I realized really she needed to be heard. She said that she needed my advice, so I was getting ready to give it. But really, I realized she needed to be heard. So I just let her talk and let her talk and let her talk. But rather than allowing it for my own heart mind to collapse onto this thing that she's now presented to me that makes my heart hurt or I didn't allow myself to become that. I allowed it to flow through me. And at the end, I did share that with her. I'm like, baby, I understand, and this is horrible, and, I send you love and prayers, but let me just suggest that, while you're feeling all of this grief and this emotional upheaval, to keep your heart open. Allow it to be as big as possible so that you can hold what's going on, but also be your natural self and be able to live your life and be able to not get stuck in that emotion or get stuck in that grief or get stuck in the frustration of what's going on politically or whatever, There's many, 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 many ways in which we can get stuck. So this is a way to not get stuck, to really allow our inner nature to be such that we can make space for all of it and still keep our heart open and be loving and patient and tolerant to ourselves and to all beings, so that our own mind isn't filled with hate and intolerance and judgment. Because that's where it all starts. Everything that we're seeing that's frustrating us, it's all about fear and hatred in people's minds and hearts. And we all have the capacity for that. And we all have it in varying degrees. We just do. It's called being a human. But to the extent that we can allow ourselves to not let that define us, to let that flow through, to be all that we are, and to be essentially that that being that has this infinite capacity for love and non-judgment toward ourselves first, and then all beings. That's my message for today. We'll take a break and come back and dedicate.
I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly. I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly. I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly.
yena me do Thaga me yele te mi ta to bole te Ki zhe den ye ye de de kar zon lo ma Andi pung in so pa na ki lo te men do Ni ne ki war so hi te de kar zo lo ma Lien zhe lo me yen pe me gi do par po yin La ye ge
I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly.
kun jo ren che na sa do we ni ne be na to je shen je zi ro re sa ye na me do Thaga me yele te mi ta to bole te Ki zhe den ye ye de de kar zon lo ma Andi pung
we've lost a few folks. Or they're still out in the hall. Is this working? Is this thing on? So what we're going to do now is our dedication practice, if you will. It really is just sounding the syllable ah 3 times. And in this case, we sound them 3 distinct times together. The first time, we're imagining this white ah. Not important to be able to visualize it, but if you do know what it looks like, you can visualize it. Really, it's about the sound and the energy. And this sound has the quality of blessing and love and compassion. So when we sound ah the first time, we allow our body to fill with this white light energy. And then the second time that we sound ah, we're going to send it out to one another. So you're going to send it to everyone in the room, and everybody in the room is sending it to you and to all of us. So it's an exchange. So it's nice to really feel that exchange when we sound the second ah. And then the third ah, collectively, we're going to send this blessing energy, healing energy, blessing energy out throughout the city, the state, the country, the world, the universe, as far as you can imagine, including all beings. So we're sending out this limitless, endless, healing, blessing energy. And we're doing that as a way to dedicate our merit. It's thought that by coming together and doing the kind of practice that we're doing this morning, it generates merit. It generates goodness. And that's something that we can share. It's something that has energy. It's something that has power. And so we do share it, because then it becomes even more potent for us and all beings. So we'll just sit for a moment to just sort of, assume our posture, or let our mind settle a bit, and then we'll do our ahs. And now bring your awareness to your heart center and a brilliant white orb of light there. And now we send the blessing, healing energy to one another. And now throughout the universe, to all beings, that they may be free of suffering and the causes of suffering, so that they may have happiness and the causes of happiness. And we'll recite the dedication on the handout. A lot of you will probably have it memorized, but then we're also going to do the blessing beneath that. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. So we'll say the names in the book. These are the folks that we want to particularly bring to mind as we dedicate our practice. If there's anyone that is not in the book, you can just bring them to mind in your heart. You can say their name. You can add them later. David Brown in the Bardo. And for those that don't know, Bardo means folks that have recently died within the last 49 days. So we leave them in our prayer book and on our prayer list for 49 days so that we're praying for them as they transition. David Brown, Bardo, Peggy, Bardo, John Carmichael, Bardo, Iggy, Abby, Linda, Buddy, Bonnie, Cheryl, Brenda, Mrs. Shingleton, Jim Woods, Bardo, James, Bridget, John, Ginger, Koshin, Charlie, Harvey, Thomas, Gloria, Dave, Ira, Steve, Nancy, Melanie, Gary, Claire, Jessica, Carolyn, Selwa, all suffering children, Bobby, DeBerry, Mother, Mamie, Deborah, may she rest in peace, Dr. Edward Fitzgerald, Yolanda Castile, Tamir Rice, all those who need peace, Pepita, Giselle, Leonardo, Anna, Danielle, Dewey, Tonglam, Catherine, Emma, Diana, Doris, victims of hurricane, Alan and Karen, Patricia, Paul, Amy's daughter, George Heelan, Hillary, Sarah and Alexander, my auntie Sue Newell, Alexis, Jose, Zuri, Maria, Lucas's father, Miriam, Christy's dad, Bardo, Tyne's dad, and all sentient beings. And now we'll recite the blessing prayer. If someone would like to light the candle, would you like to light the candle? My what? You may. No. I have it memorized, but when I'm leading, I have to read it in case I lose my way. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. Really, really sweet to have everybody here. Well, so our Tuesday series, our teaching series with our founders and our resident lamas, Ann and Harvey, is ongoing, the first and third Tuesdays at 7. And the current series is dissolving and evolving. Dissolving that we would be rid of, evolving all the wonderful qualities that we would want to manifest. And there's Tong Lin involved, beautiful teachings. It is a series, but as always, each class is a powerful segment. So come. It's all being broadcast, so if you can't come in person, if you want to watch later, it's archived. Thanks to Gary and Jessica and Claire and Mary Scott and all the broadcast team. Lama Tenzin will be here the first weekend in November, November 4th through 6th. He is one of Khetsen Sambo Rinpoche, who's one of our guiding teachers. One of his main students, he's a Lama, he's in France, he's Tibetan, he's magnificent, he's brilliant. And he's been coming regularly in November the last 5 or 6 years, and he's coming again for 2 weekends this November. And that first weekend, everyone is invited. And I think the topic is happiness on the path, or the path to happiness. Good stuff regardless. It's happy, it's the path. And he's very unassuming and very humble, as all the great lamas are. But some manifest that differently, and he seems very quiet and sweet and loving, and he is, but he's powerful, and his teachings are potent. So I can't encourage you enough to avail yourself of this opportunity. That first weekend will be for anyone and everyone. The second weekend is for folks that have been kind of doing this practice. But if you're unsure, you can talk to Mary Scott or Claire or me or Ann or Harvey at any point between now and then. Oh, so I just want to say that the children's program started this morning. And I wanted to say that in the middle of our meditation, but I was trying to stay focused. But it just, when I heard them laughing or whatever they were doing, and I just think it's so fantastic that we are offering this, that we do offer this, that Simone does it with such love and skill, and that little kids are learning to do what we're doing. And anyway, so that started this morning for 4 to 8-year-olds. So I don't know if people could still sign up, but even if they can, it's just good to know that we offer this on a regular basis. It's a part of what our mission is, along with what Claire does with all the mindfulness courses. And maybe somebody can talk about that now, because I know we've just done the first Udemy course that goes along with the current mindfulness for everyone, for all manner of goodness class. And that's fantastic. So Mary Scott or Claire can talk about that.
Yeah, so this Udemy course has been a long time in the making, but basically it's the first course designed entirely to be taken online at your own pace. And so it has basically, there's like an introduction and then a couple of videos on like some stretches you can do, ways of sitting. And then it has like 4 sort of instructional videos, and each of them is less than 10 minutes. So it's designed to be done over the course of a month. But the videos are really short, and then there's like a 15 to 20 minute meditation to go with each of the videos, and then a couple of shorter, like 3 to 5 minute meditations. So it's really like our attempt to make a meditation class for people who don't have time for a meditation class. So if you don't have 3 to 5 minutes a day, you just don't want to take a meditation class, and that's fine too. But so this is out now. It's for $20, and I think I've recently posted on Facebook. There's a discount that you can get. So it's even less than that. So basically, if you're interested, it's the content of what I'm doing in my mindfulness class now, but you don't have to be able to actually come to the mindfulness class to take it.
But if you do come to the mindfulness class, then it's supportive of that.
It is, but we're on our last session. So
Okay.
next
But it's
time.
exciting.
It's kind of like a travel size meditation class. Take it anywhere.
Awesome.
We also have podcasts, and Claire posts a new episode each week. And typically, these are distilled from Ann and Harvey's previous teachings from a couple of years ago or more, and we choose them carefully, and they're really beautiful. So if you're a podcast person, be sure to check those out. And I also, for everybody who is tuning in from the West Coast this morning, in case there are, Anne will be teaching a retreat at the end of this month, October 28th through 30th, at the Dorje Den, yeah.
At ODD in Alameda, California.
Yeah, Oregon Dorje Den.
And so hopefully some of you all can take advantage of that. That will not be broadcast, but if you are anywhere near Alameda, California, go and see Anne. And she'll be reading from Strand of Jewels on Thursday, October 27th at Moe's Bookstore on Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley at 7 p.m. So check that out as well. And thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Dawn Mountain's a nonprofit, and we depend on your generosity for our survival. So please be generous, and we appreciate that so much, and we appreciate Sharon's beautiful leadership this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you. So yeah, if you want to help us in whatever way, so obviously we welcome donations always, and we need donations, but we also need your participation, your volunteering. Mary Scott heads up the volunteer teams, and we always need help there, particularly on the broadcast team. So yeah, if this is something that is meaningful to you, please join us in being able to offer it with your money, your time, your energy, your love, any of the above. But mostly just come back again and again. Thank you.